So, after the official announcement of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, fans have been giving about as much speculation as you may expect. Will any familiar trainers show up? What will the story be like? Will they take anything from Legends Arceus? All valid thoughts. But what's been on my mind recently is what Pokemon do we all want to see return in Scarlet and Violet? Of course, I know so many of you will say you want the National Dex back. But I think it's time we finally move through all the stages of grief and move on at this point. That said, we can more than likely expect a solid 400 or so to return. So that's what we'll be looking at today. Pokemon fans can be a little picky about the roster of a core series entry. There are a lot of Pokemon now, so space will be far more limited with each new generation comparably to the last. So the ones I'm looking at today will be a combination of fan favorites, Pokemon that hadn't returned in Gen 8, as well as a handful of underdogs. Before we go over some of these much desired Pokemon, how about we look at something else that's much desired? Keeping your hair as healthy as can be. This video is sponsored by Keeps, an online subscription service that is a doctor-recommended way to treat your hair loss. You may not know this, but 2 out of 3 guys will experience hair loss before the age of 35. And I once again am putting my editors out there. While I've been lucky to hold on to my hair, my guys have not been that lucky, unfortunately. Keeps actually offers clinically proven, research-backed treatments that can help stop hair loss and, of course, improve hair growth. Like their thickening shampoo and conditioner that helps strengthen hair and promote healthy growth. When you subscribe to their services, they'll take care of you big time. They remind you when you need to refill your treatment and make sure that you're always just an order away from a direct connection to a network of expert medical advisors and care specialists, as well as those that can help prescribe you exactly what you need. They'll always work hard to make sure you build a routine that works best for you. You'll even get a full year of unlimited messaging with your prescribing doctor about anything at any time with your subscription too. That kind of communication is rare from companies these days, making this offer even better. Let's run that down one last time. You can subscribe to Keep's amazing service to help combat your hair loss. It's clinically proven to actually make a difference. And you've got access to some of the best customer service out there whenever necessary. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, head on over to keeps.com/mystic or click on the link in the description. That's keeps.com/mystic. First, I feel like I'm obligated to bring up the Pokemon that got new forms in Legends Arceus. I'm talking mons like Basculegion, Ursaluna, Sneasler, and just the Hisuian forms in general. These Pokemon of the past would be really interesting to see outside in the Legends Arceus. And not only would all of these be great to properly add to the collections of trainers, but we'd get to see how these Pokemon fare within the competitive meta too. I mean, you can't just introduce these brand new Pokemon just to let them rot immediately, right? However, this does leave a lingering question. Which of the evolution methods stay the same? How would they be incorporated within this region and current time period? It seems that Hisuian Zoroark will be in the new games at the very least, so now we just play the waiting game to see if the rest of them make it to the 9th generation. Now, with the obvious subject of Hisuian locals out of the way, one of the first Pokemon that actually comes to mind is Oricorio. The Bile-style form in particular fits incredibly well with Spanish culture, and it actually makes me wonder if there would be any opportunity to perhaps see another form somehow. Not to mention Oricorio was not available in Gen 8, so this presents a chance to do something really cool for the return of this Pokemon. The next Pokemon may be a bit indulgent to bring up, but I think Sandslash is a name that needs to be talked about. A vintage ground type from Gen 1, Sandslash got a really cool Alolan variant in Gen 7, with an interesting Ice and Steel typing. Both Alolan Sandshrew and Sandslash have had a strange, interesting history in competitive, and even got put on the NU ban list recently due to their Slush Rush and Snowcloak abilities. Yeah, Sandshrew currently somehow gets to be in the same ban list as Tornadus, Entei, and Regidrago. Anyway, why bring up this evolution line for this video? Well, in the real world, Spain actually has a variety of shrews. making Sandshrew feel right at home as a Pokemon that should have some sort of prominence in the region. I'm not expecting to see yet another new variant of it, or even something else new like a handy signature move. Though I certainly wouldn't complain either. Who knows? Meowth got 2 back-to-back plus a Gigantamax form, so I feel anything is on the table here. Sandslash is definitely an underrated Pokemon to have in your playthrough, and the Alolan variant can be a solid spinner in the right tier. And I mean, Sandshrew is also just kind of adorable. Another Pokemon that would fit quite nicely in the region would be Komala. It was another unobtainable Pokemon in Gen 8, and I think with that we've seen of the new areas, it'll be a perfect fit. It seems like the sort of Pokemon that would love to relax in the trees by the ocean. Its return may also give it a chance to get an evolution or something. Unlike Sandslash, Komala is still a relatively newer Pokemon compared to others in this series, so there's still a little room to shake things up with it. So Ariados is a Pokemon that doesn't get talked about much, and it feels like it's barely had any major appearances that allow it to have any staying power in your team. With Pokemon moving in the open world direction, with Pokemon filling the overworld, this big creepy spider would be a nice sight to see. Just imagine walking around at night in this new region, and suddenly having this thing sneak up on you at night, starting a battle. Maybe I'm alone on this one, but the idea of it has got me excited. It's never been seen as a particularly great Pokemon, especially in competitive, making it feel like another entry that can really benefit from something new like a regional variant. It'd actually be really awesome to see a new version of Ariados based on a spider endemic to Spain, maybe even a cool new signature ability or evolution to go with it. And I think we'd have ourselves a new interesting bug-type Pokemon that can function in a great supporting role. Now, I will stand by bringing up Ariados as a Pokemon that can potentially make an interesting return, but it may not be something that a massive amount of fans would be dying to see make a comeback. But what about Metagross? Getting a Beldum a little earlier this generation would be pretty cool, and I think finding it in a desert would be fitting. Spain has at least 2 major deserts, so I'm expecting at least one desert to function as a major area, with some type of lore behind it. Also in these Spanish deserts are the remains of old temples and worshipping sites. I can easily see these monolithic Pokemon like Metagross and Stonejourner fitting in with the aesthetic of these regions, possibly being part of a potential mystery embedded deep within the dry parts of the region. Goats are an animal that are often associated with Spain. I think you know where this is going. Yeah, Go-Goat. Such an easy, obvious choice of Pokemon to put in the region. In fact, in Spain, it's not uncommon to see statues of goats in some towns in various sizes. When it comes to Go-Goat in the Pokemon world, it's used to help with things like traveling. So even just beyond finding any of these in the wild, it would be incredibly fitting for this region also acknowledge Go-Goat's contribution to society in a similar way, assuming that they're as common in this region as they are in Spain. Also, Go-Goat is yet another Pokemon that is unobtainable in Gen 8, and had to be brought in from another game if you wanted it in Gen 7, or even the Gen 3 remakes. It hasn't been catchable under normal circumstances since its debut in X and Y. Gen 9 presents the perfect opportunity to reintroduce Go-Goat to the series properly. And besides, even just speaking aesthetically, who doesn't want to be in a region where you get to be surrounded by a bunch of cute little Skiddo? Next, I'd like to bring up just the general idea of previous mythical Pokemon showing up. No, I'm not saying that all mythical Pokemon need to have some sort of specific role in the story, but I do think if some are going to return in some form or another, I think we should avoid making them all simple gift events like previous generations. There's potential for some of these to come from side missions, like in Legends Arceus, breathing more life into the game's content. As for which mythical I'd like to see return, Meloetta and Hoopa would be nice for sure, as they had zero presence in Gen 8. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about the idea of a side story quest leading to a Pokemon, how about Deoxys? That could turn out to be pretty interesting, especially with the notability Spain has when it comes to stargazing. Imagine you look through a telescope at night for a chance to see a Deoxys speed through the sky, smashing into the ground, requiring you to find where it landed in this vast open world. Yeah, that sounds pretty fun. Sign me up. Vivillon is another Gen 6 Pokemon that did not make an appearance in Gen 8. Spain being very close to France could mean that this new region is perhaps very close to Kalos. This could mean that Vivillon easily could migrate to this new region and possibly even add to the region's aesthetic beauty, as Vivillon is a real standout bug Pokemon design-wise with its stylish pink wings. And there's always a chance they could take inspiration from that and introduce new patterns this time around. It's also pretty underrated, having the Compound Eyes ability to complement parts of its moveset that would normally have low accuracy, like Sleep Powder and Hurricane, a high damaging flying stab attack. And of course, it has the potential to be even better should they choose to add any nuances to anything regarding this Pokemon. Last but certainly not least, a set of Pokemon fans definitely want to see return are the Kalos starters. They weren't featured in Generation 8 whatsoever, which was pretty surprising as Greninja to this day is one of the absolute most popular Pokemon around. Greninja and Chestnut are also fairly liked in the competitive scene too. And if you look back at the possible connection between Kalos and the new region, then it wouldn't be difficult to include them here. I don't think they should be available super early in your default adventure or anything like that, but I do think that they should be accessible in some form or another, whether it be a side mission you can unlock in the middle of your game, or even a post-game situation. It may even give good reason for Gen 6 characters to appear in the game, and possibly even be involved with the story, allowing for some pretty good world building and interactions with the new characters native to the region. And since Delphox would make an appearance, maybe then our new cat starter, Sprigatito, will actually stay on all fours as it evolves to contrast the wasted potential on what would have been one of my favorite starters of all time. We can all hope, right? Well, those are the Pokemon that I believe many of us fans would love to see return in Scarlet and Violet. For the most part, I tried to stick with choices that would potentially fit the new region, but I have zero doubts that many of you have your own input on what Pokemon should be given the chance for a solid return. So please be sure to let me know in the comments below. Welcome back to the outro, folks, your favorite part of the video. Thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. We made it through the end of the 8th generation, and now we begin the long trek into late 2022 where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet await us. It's a whole new world we'll live in, but we still gotta catch them all. However, there's still a ton of videos to do and experiences to have until then. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and the Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. If we get the 10K followers on TikTok, I'll be doing a viewer's choice video. If you like Genshin Impact, check out my Genshin channel Teibachinary. So if you all enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.